My dear friends, the truth I speak of is this. Be confident you will get everything in life. Now you may be thinking, how can I be confident of getting everything when my current reality seems so far from my desires? This, my dear friends, is precisely where we must begin our journey of understanding. For the world you see around you is nothing more than the outpicturing of your own consciousness. It is the fruit of your past assumptions, beliefs, and imaginal acts. But here's the wonderful news. Just as your current reality is the result of your past thinking, your future reality can be shaped by your present imagination. You have within you the power to create any reality you desire. This power is your own wonderful human imagination. And it is God in action within you. Let us delve deeper into this profound truth. The Bible tells us in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. What is this Word? It is not mere letters on a page or sounds from your lips. The Word is your inner conversation, your assumptions about yourself and the world around you. It is the mental chatter that runs through your mind day and night, shaping your reality in ways you may not even realize. When you truly grasp this concept, when you understand that your inner world is the cause and your outer world is the effect, you will begin to see why confidence in getting everything you desire is not just possible. It is a natural state of one who knows the law. But let me be clear. This confidence is not the brash arrogance of the ego. It is not a loud proclamation to the world of what you will achieve. No, the confidence I speak of is a quiet, unshakable knowing. Is the calm assurance of a farmer who has planted his seeds and knows that the harvest will come in due season. This confidence comes from understanding the immutable law of assumption. This law states that if you assume a thing to be true and persist in that assumption, it must become a fact in your external world. It does not matter what your current circumstances are, what others may say, or what past experiences you've had. The law is absolute and works with mathematical precision. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, I've tried positive thinking before and it didn't work. My dear friends, positive thinking alone is not enough. You must go beyond mere surface level affirmations and embody the state of having your desire fulfilled. You must live from the end. What do I mean by living from the end? It means that instead of looking at your current reality and trying to figure out how to get what you want, you imagine that you already have it. You step into the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You create a scene in your imagination that implies your desire has already been realized. And you dwell in that scene until it feels natural and real to you. Let me give you an example. Suppose you desire financial abundance. Instead of constantly worrying about your bills or focusing on your lack, you would create a scene in your imagination where you are living the life of abundance. Perhaps you imagine yourself looking at a bank statement with a substantial balance, or you feel the joy and relief of easily paying all your bills with money to spare. You would enter into this scene with all your senses, making it as vivid and real as possible. Here's the key. You don't just do this once and forget about it. You return to this scene again and again, especially as you fall asleep at night. You make it your new inner conversation. Instead of telling yourself, I'm always broke or I can never get ahead, you consistently assume the feeling of financial abundance. You live as though it is already true. This, my friends, is the art of confident assumption. It is the practice of aligning your inner world with your desires, knowing that your outer world must conform to this new inner reality. Now, some of you may be wondering, but what about action? Don't I need to do something in the physical world to achieve my goals? This is a common misunderstanding. Of course, action has its place, but true inspired action flows naturally from your state of being. When you have truly assumed the state of the wish fulfilled, you will find yourself naturally taking the right actions at the right time. Consider for a moment how you would act if you already had everything you desired. Would you still be frantically searching for solutions? Would you be anxiously trying to make things happen? No, you would be calm, confident, and at peace. This is the state from which effective action springs. Remember, the outer world is dead. It has no life of its own. It is animated entirely by your consciousness. Therefore, trying to change things by manipulating the outer world is like trying to change your reflection in the mirror by touching the glass. The only way to change your reflection is to change yourself. And the mirror will faithfully reflect that change. This brings us to another crucial point. The importance of persistence. The law of assumption works with absolute precision, but it operates on its own time. Your desire may manifest immediately, or it may take weeks, months, or even years. The key is to persist in your assumption regardless of appearances. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You trust in the natural process of growth. You water it, you provide the right conditions, and you know that in due time it will sprout and grow into a mighty tree. Your desires are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Once planted through your assumption, they will grow and manifest in your reality if you persist in nurturing them with your faith and continued assumption. Now, let's address a common obstacle that many face on this path. Doubt. Doubt is the enemy of faith, and faith is essential for the operation of the law. But here's the beautiful truth. Even if you have doubts, even if you don't believe 100 that this will work, you can still succeed. How? By persisting in spite of your doubts. You see, your subconscious mind doesn't differentiate between what you consciously believe and what you imagine to be true. If you consistently imagine and feel yourself living your desire, even if your conscious mind doubts, your subconscious will accept it as fact and begin to bring it into manifestation. This is why I often say, if you will assume your desire and live there as though it were true, no power on earth can stop it from becoming a fact. Your assumptions persisted in will harden into fact regardless of any contradictory evidence presented by your senses. Let me share with you a personal experience to illustrate this point. Many years ago, when I first began to understand this law, I was living in New York City, struggling to make ends meet. I desired to travel to Barbados to visit my family, but I had no money for the trip. Instead of focusing on my lack of funds, I began to imagine myself already in Barbados. Every night as I fell asleep, I would feel the tropical breeze on my skin, hear the sound of the waves, and feel the joy of being with my family. I persisted in this assumption for several weeks, and then the most remarkable thing happened. I received a letter from my brother in Barbados containing money for a ticket to come home. The circumstances arranged themselves perfectly, and within a short time I found myself actually in Barbados, experiencing in the flesh what I had so vividly imagined. This, my friends, is the power of confident assumption. It is the power to shape your reality through the creative use of your imagination. And this power is not limited to small things or material possessions. It extends to every aspect of your life. Your relationships, your career, your health, your spiritual growth. There's nothing that exists in this world that's not first conceived in someone's imagination. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, what about other people? Don't they have free will? How can I be confident of getting everything when it involves other people's decisions? This is a common concern, but it stems from a misunderstanding of the nature of reality. You see, everyone in your world is you pushed out. They are playing the parts that your consciousness has assigned to them. As you change your concept of self, as you assume a new state of being, the people in your world must conform to this new concept. This is not about controlling others. It's about understanding that your consciousness is the only operative power in your world. Have you ever had the experience of changing your attitude towards someone, only to find that their behavior towards you changed as well, even though you didn't say or do anything different externally? This is the law in action. As within, so without. This understanding liberates you from the need to manipulate or control external circumstances. You no longer need to worry about how things will work out or try to force situations to conform to your desires. Your only job is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and persist in that assumption. The how, when, and where of its manifestation is not your concern. That is the job of the law, which works with a wisdom far beyond your conscious reasoning. Let's take this a step further. Not only can you be confident of getting everything you desire in life, but you can also be confident in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. You see, as you begin to live from this new state of being, as you embody the person who has everything they desire, you'll find that your perception of challenges and obstacles changes. What once seemed like insurmountable problems become opportunities for growth and expansion. You begin to see every experience, whether seemingly good or bad, as a perfect reflection of your consciousness, providing you with the exact lessons and growth you need at that moment. This shift in perspective is crucial. It allows you to maintain your confident assumption even when things don't appear to be going your way. You understand that appearances are just that. They are the shadow, not the substance. The substance is your consciousness, your inner assumption. Remember, the time it takes for your assumption to become your physical reality is proportional to the naturalness of the state. This is why it's so important to make your imaginal acts as vivid and real as possible. The more real it feels to you, the more quickly it will manifest in your outer world. Now let's address another important aspect of this practice: detachment. While it may seem contradictory, being confident that you will get everything in life also involves a degree of detachment from the outcome. This doesn't mean you don't care about the result. Rather, it means that you trust in the law so completely that you don't feel the need to constantly check for signs of its working. Think about it this way. When you order something online, you don't spend every moment wondering if it will arrive. You place the order and then you go about your life confident that it will be delivered. This is the kind of detachment I'm talking about. You place your order with the universe through your assumption, and then you relax, knowing it must come to pass. This detachment also allows you to stay open to the infinite wisdom of your subconscious mind. Sometimes, what manifests may be even better than what you initially imagined. By staying detached from the specific form of your desire, you allow the law to work in ways that may surprise and delight you. Now, I want to address something that many of you may be grappling with: the concept of worthiness. Some of you may be thinking, but Neville, how can I be confident of getting everything when I don't feel worthy? My dear friends, listen closely to this truth. You are already worthy. Your worthiness is not something you need to earn or prove. It is your birthright as a child of God. The feeling of unworthiness is simply a state, an assumption you have accepted about yourself. And like any state, it can be changed. How? By assuming a new state of worthiness, by living from the end as a person who knows their infinite worth and value. Remember, you are not a mere mortal trying to appease some external deity. You are God in action, the operant power in your world. The Bible tells us, I and my Father are one. This is not blasphemy. It is the highest truth. When you truly understand and embody this truth, confidence in getting everything you desire becomes your natural state of being. Now let's talk about the role of gratitude in this process. Gratitude is not just a nice sentiment. It is a powerful creative force. When you are grateful for what you have, even before it manifests in your physical reality, you are aligning yourself with the frequency of abundance. You are telling the universe, yes, I'm ready to receive more. But here's the key. Your gratitude must be genuine. It's not about pretending to be grateful for things you don't really appreciate. It's about finding genuine reasons to be thankful even in your current circumstances. As you cultivate this attitude of gratitude, you'll find that more and more things come into your life for which to be grateful. This brings us to another important point. The power of your words. The Bible says death and life are in the power of the tongue. Your words are a direct reflection of your assumptions. They are declarations to the universe of what you believe to be true. Therefore, be mindful of your speech. Speak as though you already have everything you desire. Let your words reflect the state of the wish fulfilled. For instance, instead of saying, I hope to be successful someday, say, I am successful. Instead of saying, I wish I had more money, say, I am abundantly prosperous. Your words should always align with your desired state, not your current circumstances. Now, some of you may be wondering about the role of emotions in this process. Emotions are incredibly powerful. They are the fuel that gives life to your imaginal acts. When you combine vivid imagination with strong, positive emotion, you create an irresistible force that must manifest in your reality. However, it's important to understand that the emotion you're aiming for is not excitement or anticipation. These emotions imply that you don't yet have what you desire. Instead, aim for the calm satisfaction of knowing that your desire is already yours. Feel the relief, the peace, the quiet joy of having your wish fulfilled. This ties into another crucial aspect of being confident. You will get everything in life living in the state of the wish fulfilled. This means that you don't just imagine your desire for a few minutes a day and then go back to your old patterns of thought and behavior. Instead, you strive to embody the person who already has everything they desire. How would you think, feel, and act if you already had everything you wanted? How would you carry yourself? What would your daily routines look like? As you begin to live from this state, you'll find that your outer world naturally conforms to match your inner state of being. Now, I want to address something that many of you may be experiencing as you embark on this journey, the bridging of the gap. This is the period between when you start assuming your new state and when it fully manifests in your physical reality. This can often be a challenging time, as your senses may be telling you one thing while you're trying to assume another. During this time, it's crucial to remember that your senses only show you the effects of your past assumptions. They do not dictate your future. Your job during this bridging period is to persist in your new assumption, regardless of what your senses are telling you. This is where your faith is tested and strengthened. Think of it like this. When you decide to get in shape, you don't see results immediately. There's a period where you're putting in the work at the gym, eating right, but your body hasn't visibly changed yet. But if you persist, eventually your outer form catches up with your inner efforts. The same is true with your imaginative work. This brings us to another important point. The concept of divine timing. Sometimes your desires may manifest quickly. Other times it may take longer than you expected. Trust that there is a divine wisdom at work, orchestrating events in perfect timing for your highest good. Your job is not to try to force or rush the manifestation. Your job is simply to persist in your assumption, to live from the end and to trust in the perfect unfolding of the law. Remember, the vision has its own appointed hour. It ripens, it will flower. If it be long, then wait, for it is sure and will not be late. Now, let's talk about something that many of you may be struggling. Letting go of the old story. You see, for your new assumption to take root and flourish, you must be willing to let go of your old beliefs and narratives about yourself and your life. This can be challenging, especially if you've held on to these beliefs for a long time. But remember, your old story, no matter how familiar it may be, is just that, a story. It's a series of assumptions you've made about yourself and your world. And just as you created that story, you have the power to create a new one. This process of letting go is not about fighting against your old beliefs or trying to forcefully push them away. That kind of resistance only gives them more power. Instead, it's about gently but persistently turning your attention away from the old story and towards your new assumption. Every time you catch yourself falling into old patterns of thought or behavior, simply remind yourself that's the old story. It's no longer relevant to who I am becoming. Then, consciously shift your focus back to your new assumption, your new story. This practice of mental diet is crucial. Just as you are careful about what you put into your physical body, be mindful of what you're feeding your mind. Guard the portals of your mind. Be selective about the thoughts you entertain, the conversations you engage in, the media you consume. Everything should align with and support your new assumption. Now, I want to address something that many of you may be experiencing as you begin to apply these principles. The concept of revision. Revision is a powerful technique that allows you to rewrite your past and shape your present and future. The idea is simple yet profound. If you can change your memory of an event, you change its impact on your life. You see, your past only exists in your memory. And memory, like imagination, is a function of consciousness. Therefore, you have the power to revise your memories. to reimagine past events in a way that serves your present desires and future goals. This doesn't mean denying what happened. It means reinterpreting events in a way that empowers you rather than limits you. For instance, if you have a memory of failure or rejection that's holding you back, you can revise that memory. Reimagine the scene with a different outcome. See yourself succeeding, being accepted, thriving. As you practice revision, you'll find that not only does it change your relationship to your past, but it also shifts your present reality and opens up new possibilities for your future. This is because you're literally rewriting the story of your life. And as we've established, your story shapes your reality. Now let's talk about the importance of persistence. Being confident that you will get everything in life requires unwavering persistence in your assumption. This doesn't mean you never have doubts or moments of weakness. It means that despite these moments, you always return to your assumption. Think of it like learning to ride a bicycle. At first you may wobble and fall, but you get back up and try again. Eventually, maintaining balance becomes second nature. The same is true with your assumptions. At first, it may feel unnatural to assume a state that's different from your current reality. But with practice, it becomes easier and more natural. Remember, the law is always working. It doesn't turn on and off based on your moods or temporary lapses in faith. As long as you return to your assumption and persist in it, the law will bring it to pass. This brings us to another crucial point, the importance of living in the present moment. While it's necessary to imagine and feel your desired future, it's equally important to be fully present in your current reality. Why? Because the present moment is where your power lies. It's the point of creation, the only place where you can make choices and take action. Living in the present doesn't mean ignoring your goals or desires. It means being fully engaged with your life as it is now, while simultaneously holding the consciousness of your desire fulfilled. This balance allows you to appreciate and make the most of your current circumstances while confidently moving towards your desired reality. As we near the end of our time together, I want to emphasize a fundamental truth. The confidence that you will get everything in life comes from knowing who you really are. You are not a limited, mortal being subject to the whims of an external world. You are a divine, infinite being, creating your reality through your consciousness. When you truly grasp this truth, when you fully embody it, confidence becomes your natural state. You no longer need to strive or struggle to achieve your desires. You simply assume the state of the wish fulfilled, knowing that it must manifest in your physical reality. My dear friends, as you leave here today, I urge you to begin living from this new understanding. Choose an aspect of your life where you desire change. Create a scene that implies this change has already occurred. Enter into that scene with all your senses. Feel the reality of it. Then carry that feeling with you throughout your day. Watch how your perception shifts. Notice how opportunities aligned with your desire begin to present themselves. Pay attention to the subtle changes in your relationships, your circumstances, your entire world. Remember, the outer world is constantly conforming to your inner assumptions. As you maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled, your reality has no choice but to reflect this back to you. Be patient with yourself in this process. Like any new skill, it takes practice. There may be times when you slip back into old patterns of thought. When this happens, gently but firmly bring your attention back to your desired state. Persist. And above all, have faith. Faith not in some external power, but in the creative power of your own wonderful human imagination. Trust in the law that states whatever you assume and feel to be true must and will objectify itself in your world. Go forth now and live from the end. Act as though you already have everything you desire. Feel the joy, the fulfillment, the gratitude of having all that you want. And watch and wonder as your world transforms to match your inner state. Remember, you are the operant power in your world. You are the author of your life story. Write it beautifully, live it fully, and watch as your dreams unfold into your living reality. Thank you. And may your imagination be filled with the grandest visions of your ideal life. For as you imagine and feel it to be real, so it must become In closing, my dear friends, I want to leave you with this final thought. The journey you're embarking on, the journey of conscious creation, is the most important work you will ever do. It is nothing less than the discovery and expression of your true divine nature. As you practice these principles, as you live from the state of the wish fulfilled, you're not just changing your external circumstances, you're evolving your consciousness. You're expanding your awareness of who you truly are and what you're capable of creating. This work requires courage. It requires faith. It requires persistence. But the rewards are beyond anything you can currently imagine. For when you master the art of conscious creation, when you fully embody the truth that you are the operant power in your world, you step into a life of true freedom, joy, and limitless possibility. So go forth with confidence, my friends. Know that you have within you everything you need to create the life of your dreams. Trust in the law, persist in your assumptions, and watch as miracles unfold in your life. Remember, the world is your mirror, faithfully reflecting back to you your innermost assumptions and beliefs. As you change your inner world, your outer world must change to match it. This is the promise and the power of the law. Be bold in your imagining. Dream big. Assume states that may seem impossible from your current standpoint, for nothing is impossible to the power that resides within you. And as you walk this path, as you begin to see the fruits of your imaginative work manifesting in your reality, share this knowledge with others. Help them to awaken to their own divine nature, to their own creative power. For as more and more individuals awaken to this truth, as more and more people begin to consciously create their reality, we move closer to a world of harmony, abundance, and joy for all. This, my friends, is the great work we are all called to do. This is the true purpose of our existence, to awaken to our divine nature and to create a world that reflects the highest and best within us. So go now with confidence, with faith, with persistence. Know that you will get everything in life, for you are the creator of your reality. The power is yours. Use it wisely, use it lovingly, and watch as miracles unfold in your life and in the world around you. Thank you. And may your journey be filled with wonder, joy, and the thrill of conscious creation. For you are the operant power.
When we chase after things with desperation, we create a gap between ourselves and the very things we desire. This gap exists not because what we seek is far away, but because we believe it is. Our relentless pursuit declares to the universe that we do not possess it. And as long as we feel the lack remains. The secret lies in the stillness of knowing. When you stop trying to get it, you align yourself with the reality in which it is already yours. Imagine the feeling of having it now, not tomorrow, not someday, but in this very moment. Feel the joy, the peace, and the fulfillment as if the dream has already materialized. That state of being is the key to unlocking the floodgates of abundance. Life does not respond to need or effort, it responds to being. When you try, you affirm that you are not yet what you wish to be. But when you embody the state of having, without strain, the world shifts to reflect your inner conviction. Stop searching outwardly and start dwelling inwardly. Rest in the assurance that all you desire is already within you, waiting to be expressed in the perfect way. There is no need to manipulate the outer world. The outer world is merely a mirror, reflecting the state of your inner world. If you are restless, the world will echo your restlessness. But if you are at peace, fully immersed in the feeling of fulfillment, the world will bend to your peace, bringing to you all that matches your state of being. Release the struggle, for struggle only keeps you entangled. Let go of the effort to make it happen. Instead, rest in the vision of it already done. The power that created the stars and moves the oceans resides in you, and it knows no effort. Trust in that power, align with it, and watch as your desires flow to you naturally, as easily as the sun rises and sets. What you seek is not separate from you. It is not out there waiting for you to find it. It is within, waiting for you to claim it. Stop trying to grasp what is already yours. Let go, and you will find that in the stillness of your being, you already have it all. When you let go of trying, when you stop the ceaseless effort to control, you begin to tap into a profound truth. All that you seek is already present within you. It is not about becoming worthy or proving yourself to a distant force. It is about recognizing the reality of your oneness with what you desire. To try is to push, and to push is to admit that there is distance. But in the quiet acceptance of what is already yours, there is no distance, no gap to bridge, and no struggle to endure. The moment you stop striving is the moment you allow the natural order of things to flow. Like a river that effortlessly follows its course, your life unfolds perfectly when you cease the need to dam it with effort. The flow of life is not something you need to create or control, it is something you align with. Effort interrupts that flow. Effort says, I must make this happen, while faith says, it is already done. Faith is not blind hope, it is the deep knowing that all is already in place, that the seed you planted within yourself is growing, even if you cannot yet see its bloom. Everything in this world begins with a thought, a feeling, an imagination. What you focus on within is what takes shape without. This is not a matter of wishing or longing, for longing suggests separation. It is a matter of feeling, of truly living in the state of fulfillment within your imagination. When you feel the joy, the satisfaction, and the gratitude of already having what you desire, the world cannot help but reflect it back to you. It must, for it is the law of life. Do not confuse letting go with giving up. To give up is to surrender to doubt, but to let go is to surrender to trust. Trust that the unseen forces of creation are working for you. Trust that the life you desire is unfolding, even if you cannot yet see the evidence. The farmer does not dig up his seeds each day to check if they are growing. He trusts the process, knowing that the unseen work beneath the soil is just as real as the harvest he will one day gather. When you let go of trying, you open yourself to receive. You cannot receive with clenched fists or a heart heavy with frustration. Relax. Rest in the knowing. Feel the ease of already having it, and let that feeling become your dwelling place. Your state of being is the magnet that draws your desires to you. It is not through force, but through alignment, that the unseen becomes seen. The external world will always respond to your internal state. If you are anxious and desperate, the world will mirror that energy back to you. But if you are calm, assured, and filled with the feeling of already being whole, the world will shift to meet you there. You do not need to chase anything, for nothing is truly outside of you. Everything you could ever want is an extension of what you already are. The joy, the abundance, the love, they are not external prizes to be won, but reflections of your inner state. To stop trying does not mean to stop dreaming. Dream boldly, imagine vividly, and feel deeply. But let your dreams arise from a place of certainty, not lack. You do not dream to escape reality, you dream to create it. Your imagination is the workshop of your destiny, and what you hold there with faith and feeling must come to pass. When you stop trying, you stop scattering your energy and start directing it with purpose. Think of the moments in your life when something wonderful came to you unexpectedly, effortlessly. Perhaps it was a chance meeting, an opportunity, or a stroke of inspiration. These moments were not the result of strain or struggle, they were the result of alignment. You were in the right state of being, and the universe responded accordingly. This is not luck or coincidence, it is the natural order of creation. You cannot outrun the truth of who you are. If you believe you are lacking, no amount of effort will fill that void. But when you believe, truly believe, that you are already whole, the world will confirm that truth. It is not about pretending or forcing yourself to feel something you do not. It is about gently shifting your focus from what you lack to what you already possess within you. It is about remembering that you are not separate from your desires, you are their source. Stop trying to manipulate the details of how and when. The how is not your concern, and the when is already perfect. Your task is simply to remain in the state of being that aligns with what you desire. Live as though it is already yours. Feel the gratitude of having received it. Speak and act from a place of fulfillment, not fear. When you do this, you are no longer trying to get it, you are allowing it to unfold naturally, in ways more beautiful and unexpected than you could have planned. The greatest paradox of life is that when you let go of trying to possess something, you possess it fully. When you release the need to control, you step into the flow of divine timing and infinite possibilities. This is not passivity, it is the ultimate act of faith. It is the understanding that your role is not to force but to allow, not to chase but to align. The universe moves mountains for those who trust its power and wisdom. Even now, as you listen, the reality you desire is forming around you. Each thought, each feeling, each moment of stillness brings it closer. You do not need to strive to make it happen, you only need to be. Rest in the assurance that all is well, and let that assurance guide your every step. In the stillness of knowing, you will find that you have already arrived. The act of creation is effortless when it arises from the depth of knowing. When you allow yourself to be still and truly feel, you connect with the infinite. The infinite does not operate through force, it operates through resonance. What you embody within yourself, you call forth from the world. This is why trying, striving, and pushing are counterproductive. They create resistance. Resistance is born from the belief that what you desire is separate from you. But in truth, it is not. I think for a moment about the ocean. The waves rise and fall, not because they are fighting to reach the shore, but because it is their nature to move. Creation follows the same rhythm. It is not something to be forced or demanded, it is something to be allowed. When you rest in the awareness that you are already one with your desires, the current of life carries you effortlessly to their manifestation. The struggle dissolves, and in its place is a calm, steady assurance that all is unfolding perfectly. The reason so many feel stuck is that they attach themselves to the doing rather than the being. They believe that through sheer effort they can mold reality to their will. But the truth is, reality is a reflection of your inner state. What you are within, you will see without. If you feel lack, the world will confirm your lack. If you feel abundance, the world will mirror abundance back to you. This is not wishful thinking, it is the law of creation. Consider the way a seed grows into a tree. The seed does not strain or struggle to become what it already is in potential. It simply follows the natural flow of life. It does not ask, when will I grow? Or how will I become a tree? It trusts the process. It rests in the soil, nourished by what is already provided, and unfolds in its own time. In the same way, you must trust the process of your own becoming. Your desires are like seeds planted within you. They do not need force, they need faith. Faith is not about hoping that something might happen. Faith is about knowing that it already is. When you embody faith, you stop questioning whether your desires will manifest. You stop doubting your worthiness to receive them. Instead, you live from a place of quiet confidence, knowing that everything you need is already yours. This confidence is not arrogance, it is the natural state of one who understands the laws of life. Letting go of trying does not mean letting go of action. Action is a natural expression of being, but it must arise from alignment rather than effort. When you act from a place of alignment, your actions are inspired, effortless, and effective. They carry the energy of fulfillment rather than lack. You are not chasing something outside of yourself, you are simply expressing what already exists within you. Notice the difference between the one who acts out of desperation and the one who acts out of faith. Desperation says, I must do this to get what I want. Faith says, I will do this because it feels right, and I trust that all is unfolding as it should. The energy behind your actions matters more than the actions themselves. The world responds not to what you do, but to the state of being from which you do it. Every moment is an opportunity to realign with the truth of your being. When you find yourself striving, stop and take a breath. Return to the feeling of already having it. Close your eyes and imagine the reality you desire. Feel it as though it is happening now. Let the joy, the peace, and the gratitude fill your heart. This is not pretending, this is aligning. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes, until one day you realize you no longer need to try, you are simply living in the state of having. Patience is a natural byproduct of trust. When you trust that your desires are already yours, you no longer feel the need to rush or force the process. You understand that everything has its time and place. Just as the sun rises and sets without your interference, your desires will manifest in their own perfect timing. Impatience arises from fear that it will not happen or that you are not worthy. But when you let go of fear and rest in trust, impatience dissolves. The outer world is but a shadow of the inner. You cannot change the shadow by reaching for it, you must change the object casting it. If you wish to see love, abundance, or peace in your life, you must first cultivate these states within yourself. The world cannot give you what you are not willing to embody. This is the ultimate truth. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. Even as you listen, the words are not creating something new within you, they are simply awakening what has always been there. You have always been whole, complete, and connected to the infinite. Your desires are not foreign to you, they are expressions of who you are. When you understand this, the need to try disappears. You realize that there is nothing to get, for you already have it all. Trust the stillness. Trust the knowing. Trust that the universe is conspiring in your favor. Release the need to make it happen, and instead allow it to happen. You are not separate from the power that creates worlds, you are one with it. Rest in that truth, and let the unfolding of your desires be as natural as the blooming of a flower. You will find, as you let go, that you already are, and have always been, everything you could ever need. The journey of creation is not about moving from a place of lack to a place of abundance. It is about awakening to the abundance that has always been present. To seek is to imply that something is missing, but to realize is to know that nothing is ever absent. The very act of trying creates a distance between you and what you desire, a distance that only exists in the mind. When you stop trying, you dissolve that illusion of separation and step into the fullness of being. Feel the power of the present moment. It is in this moment, not in some distant future, that all things are created. The eternal now is where your desires take root and where they bloom. The mind often rushes ahead, searching for evidence, craving signs, but the heart knows better. The heart understands that all creation is birthed in stillness, in the quiet conviction that what you seek is already yours. Let your heart guide you back to this truth, again and again, until it becomes your dwelling place. To live in this awareness is to live in harmony with the divine order. The universe does not respond to struggle or desperation, it responds to faith and alignment. Think of a magnet, it does not strain to attract, it simply is. Its very nature draws to it what aligns with its field. In the same way, your state of being naturally attracts experiences that match its vibration. There is no effort in this process, only a quiet certainty that what is meant for you cannot be lost. The mind, conditioned by the world, often believes in the necessity of hard work, sacrifice, and striving. It whispers that nothing worthwhile comes easily, that you must prove yourself worthy through effort. But the soul knows a different truth. The soul knows that your worth is not something to be earned, it is inherent. You are already enough, already complete, already worthy of all the good that life has to offer. When you release the need to try, you honor this truth. You step into the flow of grace, where all things come to you effortlessly. This does not mean you will not act, but your actions will be inspired rather than forced. They will arise from a place of joy and alignment, not from fear or obligation. When you act from this state, even the smallest steps carry immense power. The energy of alignment amplifies your efforts, allowing them to ripple outward in ways you cannot predict or control. Trust in this process. Trust that your inspired actions, no matter how simple, are enough. The key is to remain steadfast in your inner state, even when the outer world has yet to catch up. The delay is not a sign of failure, but a natural part of the unfolding. Just as seasons change in their own time, so too do your desires manifest when the conditions are right. Impatience only disrupts the process, creating resistance where there should be ease. Instead, cultivate patience as an act of faith. Know that the unseen work is already underway, even if you cannot yet perceive it. Doubt may arise, as it often does, but doubt is not your enemy. It is simply a signal that your focus has shifted from faith to fear. When doubt appears, do not fight it. Acknowledge it, then gently guide your attention back to the truth. Remind yourself that what you desire is already a reality within you, waiting to be expressed. Feel the joy of having it, the gratitude of its presence, and let these feelings anchor you in the state of fulfillment. Gratitude is a powerful force in this process. It shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have, aligning you with the energy of abundance. When you live in gratitude, you create a fertile ground for your desires to take root. You no longer seek validation or reassurance from the outside world, for you carry the certainty of your wholeness within. This inner state of gratitude is a magnet for blessings, drawing to you experiences that reflect its vibration. It is not your role to question the means by which your desires will manifest. The how is the domain of the infinite, far beyond the limited scope of the human mind. Your role is simply to remain in the state of being that aligns with your desires. When you do this, the universe orchestrates events in ways that defy logic and expectation. Doors open, opportunities arise, and pathways appear where there were none. This is the miracle of creation, and it is available to you at every moment. The greatest gift you can give yourself is the freedom to let go. Let go of the need to control, to force, to make things happen. In letting go, you create space for the divine to work through you. You become a vessel for infinite possibilities, no longer bound by the limitations of the mind. This is not surrender in the sense of giving up, it is surrender in the sense of trusting the greater wisdom that guides all things. Even as you hear these words, the truth of them resonates within you. There is a part of you that already knows, that has always known, that you are one with the source of all creation. This part of you does not need convincing or proof, it simply is. When you connect with this knowing, you access a power that transcends effort, struggle, and limitation. You step into the realm of infinite potential, where all things are possible. This is the essence of creation: to be still, to feel, to know. When you stop trying to get it, you realize that you have always had it. The seeking ends, and in its place is the profound realization that you are, and have always been, complete. Rest in this truth, and let it guide you in all things. In doing so, you will find that life itself becomes an effortless unfolding, a dance of joy and abundance that reflects the fullness of who you are. Every breath you take in this moment is infused with the infinite creative power of the universe. You are not apart from it, you are it. There is no separation between the Creator and the creation, just as there is no separation between the ocean and its waves. The wave may appear distinct, yet it is nothing without the ocean that gives it life. So too is your every desire an extension of the divine expressing itself through you. To resist this truth is to resist your own nature. To embrace it is to step into the fullness of who you are. Your desires are not random. They are divine impulses, whispers from the infinite urging you toward greater self-expression and expansion. Yet these whispers are gentle, they do not shout, nor do they demand. They invite. They invite you to align, to become, to realize. When you try to force the manifestation of these desires, you drown out their subtle voice. But when you relax, when you release, you allow these divine impulses to unfold in their perfect time and way. Imagine holding a bird in your hands. If you clutch it too tightly, you may harm it, or it may struggle to escape. But if you hold it lightly, it remains with you, free and unburdened. So it is with your desires. They are meant to be held lightly, with trust and reverence, not with desperation or fear. This lightness of being is not a sign of indifference, but of profound faith. It says, I trust that what is mine will come to me, and I release the need to control its arrival. Control is the illusion that keeps so many trapped in cycles of frustration and longing. The more you try to control the outcome, the more elusive it becomes. This is because control stems from fear, and fear is a state of resistance. But the energy of creation flows only in openness, in surrender. To let go of control is not to abandon your desires, but to release the resistance that blocks their manifestation. It is to say, I trust the wisdom of the universe more than the fears of my mind. Think of a seed planted in the earth. You do not need to dig it up each day to check its progress, nor do you need to force it to grow. You trust the process. You water it, give it sunlight, and let it be. In time it sprouts, grows, and bears fruit. Your desires are much the same. They are seeds planted in the fertile soil of your consciousness. Your job is to nurture them with faith, love, and gratitude, and then to let them grow in their own time. The act of trying often comes from a place of unworthiness, a belief that you must do more or be more to deserve what you seek. But you are already worthy. Your worthiness is not conditional. It is not something to be earned or proven. It is your birthright, inherent and unchanging. When you stop trying to earn what is already yours, you free yourself from the chains of unworthiness. You step into a state of grace, where all things flow to you effortlessly because you have aligned with the truth of who you are. Effortlessness does not mean passivity. It means inspired action, action that flows naturally from a place of alignment. When you are aligned, your actions carry the energy of certainty and joy, not of struggle or desperation. This is the difference between working hard and working with ease. The former depletes you, the latter empowers you. When you act from alignment, even the smallest gesture carries the weight of the infinite. It is not the quantity of your actions, but the quality of your energy that shapes your reality. The outer world is a mirror, reflecting back to you the state of your inner world. If you see lack and struggle in your life, it is because those states are present within you. But the mirror is not fixed, it changes as you change. When you shift your inner state to one of peace, abundance, and gratitude, the outer world has no choice but to reflect this shift. This is not magic, it is the law. The world must mirror back to you the vibration you hold within. To stop trying is to live as though your desires are already fulfilled. It is to feel the joy, the gratitude, the peace of having what you want, even before it appears in form. This is not a trick or a game, it is the essence of creation. The outer world cannot give you what you are unwilling to feel within. But when you embody the feeling of your desire fulfilled, the outer world must conform to this inner reality. It cannot do otherwise. The mind may rebel against this truth. It may tell you that you must see evidence before you can believe, that you must achieve before you can feel. But this is the great reversal. Believing comes first, seeing follows. Feeling comes first, achieving follows. The outer world is but a shadow of the inner, and to chase the shadow is to lose sight of the light that creates it. Turn inward to the source of all light, and you will find that the shadow naturally falls into place. There is a simplicity in this process that the mind often resists. It wants complexity, strategies, and steps. It wants to analyze, calculate, and predict. But the heart knows that creation is simple. It is as simple as breathing, as natural as the rising and setting of the sun. The more you trust this simplicity, the more you allow life to unfold in its perfect rhythm. Complexity is a product of fear, simplicity is the language of love. You do not need to know the how of your desires. The infinite intelligence of the universe has already taken care of that. Your role is not to micromanage the process, but to align with the end result. Feel it, believe it, live as though it is already yours. This is your power, your divine gift. To misuse it by dwelling in doubt or fear is to deny yourself the joy and abundance that are your birthright. Even as you let go of the need to try, you will find that the things you once chased begin to chase you. Opportunities, relationships, and experiences will flow into your life with a grace that defies explanation. This is not because you have stopped desiring, but because you have stopped resisting. You have stepped into the flow of life, where all things are possible and all things are given in their perfect time. Feel the truth of these words. They are not new, they are ancient and eternal, echoing through the depths of your being. You already know them, for they are written in the fabric of your soul. They are not something to be learned, but something to be remembered. As you remember, you awaken. And as you awaken, you create not through effort, but through the effortless knowing that you already are all that you seek. In conclusion, the journey of manifesting your desires and achieving the life you've dreamed of often requires a deep understanding of trust and surrender. It's easy to fall into the trap of constant striving, constantly chasing after what you think you want. However, true success and fulfillment come when you stop trying to force things into existence and instead trust that the universe has a plan for you. By relinquishing the need to control every outcome, you create space for your desires to naturally unfold in their perfect timing. Too often we find ourselves trapped in a cycle of anxiety, fear, and impatience. We think that if we work harder, push further, or try to control the situation more, the thing we want will finally come to us. But this mindset only creates resistance. When we stop trying, stop forcing, and trust the process, we allow the energy of the universe to flow freely through us. We align ourselves with the natural rhythm of life, and in that alignment, we become magnets for the very things we desire. When you let go of the need to force, you free yourself from the weight of stress and struggle. You start to notice that everything falls into place with ease. Your relationships, your career, and your personal growth all flourish when you allow them to. It is when you surrender to the natural flow that you begin to see that the universe is always conspiring in your favor. It's not about doing more, it's about being more at peace, more in trust, more aligned with your true self. This doesn't mean sitting back and doing nothing. It means letting go of the fear that keeps you trapped in effortful striving. It means taking inspired action when it feels right, but never out of desperation. You must trust that the universe will bring you what you need at the right moment in the right way. The more you let go, the more you allow your desires to come to you effortlessly. Furthermore, when you stop trying to control every aspect of your life, you start to see things from a higher perspective. You stop worrying about the small details and start focusing on the bigger picture. Life begins to feel less like a struggle and more like a divine journey, one that's unfolding in perfect timing. Your only job is to remain open, stay grounded in trust, and believe that everything is working out exactly as it should. Remember, the universe has a way of orchestrating your desires in a manner far more beautiful and profound than you could ever imagine. The truth is that you can never force anything into existence. But when you align with the flow of life, when you let go of the resistance, and when you trust the timing of the universe, everything you want will come to you, often in ways you least expect, but always in the most miraculous way. So stop trying to get it. Let go of the need to force it into your life. Know that what's meant for you is already on its way. Trust the process, surrender to the flow, and watch as the universe delivers the life you've always dreamed of effortlessly, abundantly, and in divine timing.
Let me ask you something that might shake your entire worldview. What if you've been approaching success completely backward? What if, instead of working to become victorious, you simply needed to assume the feeling of victory now? You see, most people live their entire lives waiting to feel victorious. They say, when I achieve this goal, then I'll feel like a winner. But I tell you this, you must feel like a winner first, and then the achievements will naturally follow. Consider this, every great achievement in history began with someone who acted as though they had already won before any physical evidence existed. They carried themselves with the confidence of victory while others saw only defeat. Let me share something profound with you about the nature of victory. Victory isn't an event. It's a state of consciousness. When you truly grasp this, your entire world will transform. You see, most people are waiting for circumstances to make them feel victorious. But I tell you this, circumstances don't create your feelings create circumstances. Think about how you carry yourself when you know you've won something. There's a certain swagger in your step, a gleam in your eye, a confidence in your voice. This is the state you must adopt now, before any external evidence exists. Most of you sit here tonight thinking about your goals, your dreams, your aspirations. But I tell you this, as long as you see these things as future achievements, they will remain in the future. You must live from the end now. Consider what happens when you truly adopt the attitude of someone who has already won. Your entire world must reshape itself to match this new self-concept. This is law. Let me share with you what happens in consciousness when you assume the feeling of victory. Your entire being shifts. Your posture changes. Your voice carries new authority. Your decisions come from a place of confidence rather than fear. Let me tell you something profound about this victorious attitude. When you truly embody it, You're not pretending. You're claiming your natural state. Victory is not something foreign to you. It's your inherent nature. You see, most people approach life from a position of hoping to win. But I tell you this, hope is just another form of doubt. When you know you've already won, there's no need for hope because certainty has replaced it. Consider how differently you move through the world when you know the game is already won. You don't stress about small setbacks. You don't worry about temporary obstacles. You move with the calm confidence of someone who knows the final outcome. Let me share with you what happens when you maintain this victorious consciousness consistently. People begin responding to you differently. Opportunities seemingly appear out of nowhere. Doors that were closed suddenly open. Most of you have been taught to wait for victory to feel victorious. But I tell you this, that's exactly backward. You must feel victorious first, and then victory will manifest in your world. You see, this attitude of victory isn't about arrogance or ego. It's about aligning yourself with your true nature. When you act like you've already won, you're simply acknowledging what's already true in consciousness. Think about how you breathe when you're victorious. It's deep, it's confident, it's relaxed. This is how you should be breathing right now, regardless of current circumstances. Let me tell you about the transformation that occurs when you maintain this state. Your decisions change because you're no longer operating from a place of fear or lack. You make choices as someone who knows they cannot fail. Most of you sit here tonight thinking about past failures, current struggles, future uncertainties. But I tell you this, all these are irrelevant when you adopt the consciousness of victory. Consider this. Every time you doubt, every time you worry, every time you fear, you're denying your victorious nature. You're choosing to act from a consciousness of defeat rather than victory. Let me share with you what happens in the depths of your being. When you truly embrace this victorious attitude, your entire nervous system begins to operate differently. Your body language changes automatically. Your voice carries a new resonance. You see, most people are waiting for something external to give them permission to feel victorious. But I tell you this, the only permission you need is your own decision to embody victory now. Consider what happens when you walk into a room knowing you've already won. Not hoping, not wishing, not planning to win, but knowing with absolute certainty that victory is already yours. The entire atmosphere changes. Let me tell you about the subtle shift that occurs in your relationships when you maintain this victorious consciousness. People begin treating you according to your own self-concept. They respond not to your words, but to the victory you radiate. Most of you have spent years rehearsing defeat in your mind, imagining worst-case scenarios, preparing for failure. But I tell you this, every time you do this, you're denying your victorious nature. You see, this attitude of victory transforms even the smallest actions of your day. When you know you've already won, even the way you sip your morning coffee changes. Everything becomes an expression of victory. Think about how you make decisions when you know you cannot fail. You move with boldness, with certainty, with absolute conviction. This is how you should be moving through every moment of your life. Let me share with you what happens when this victorious consciousness becomes your natural state. You stop asking, what if I fail? Because failure becomes impossible in your consciousness. You only see paths to victory. Most of you have been conditioned to believe that victory must be earned through struggle and hardship. But I tell you this, victory is your natural state. The struggle comes from resisting this truth. Consider how your entire world must reshape itself when you maintain this consciousness consistently. Everything that doesn't align with your victorious nature must fall away. When you truly embody victory, you're not just changing your mindset, you're altering the very fabric of your reality. You see, most people spend their lives preparing for victory, planning for victory, hoping for victory, but I tell you this, all of that preparation is useless if you don't assume the feeling of victory now. Consider what happens when you wake up each morning already feeling victorious. Your morning routine becomes a victory lap, not a preparation for battle. Your breakfast isn't fuel for the fight. It's a celebration of success. Let me tell you about the transformation. that occurs in your work when you maintain this consciousness. Tasks that once seemed daunting become opportunities to express your victorious nature. Challenges become stages for your triumph. Most of you have been taught that confidence comes after achievement. But I tell you this, achievement comes after confidence. When you act like you've already won, success becomes inevitable. You see, this victorious attitude completely transforms how you handle setbacks. When you know you've already won, obstacles become merely temporary illusions, stepping stones to your already secured victory. Think about how differently you approach problems. When you know their solution is guaranteed, the stress dissolves. The anxiety vanishes. All that remains is the calm certainty of inevitable success. Let me share with you what happens when you maintain this state consistently. Your entire being begins to radiate victory. People feel it when you enter a room. Opportunities are naturally drawn to you. Most of you sit here tonight thinking about all the things you need to do to become victorious. But I tell you this, victory isn't something you become. It's something you express right now. Consider this. Every time you postpone feeling victorious until after some future achievement, you're pushing victory away. Victory must be claimed in the present moment. Let me share with you a deeper truth about this victorious attitude that will revolutionize your understanding. When you act like you've already won, you're not pretending. You're aligning with an existing reality in consciousness. You see, most people approach victory as something distant, something to be achieved through struggle and effort. But I tell you this, victory exists right now in your consciousness, waiting to be recognized and expressed. Consider what happens in your financial world when you maintain this victorious consciousness. Money ceases to be something you chase and becomes something naturally drawn to your victorious state. Success becomes your natural expression. Let me tell you about the transformation that occurs in your physical energy when you embody this attitude. Fatigue disappears because you're no longer fighting against life. You're flowing with your natural victorious state. Most of you have been taught that victory requires sacrifice, struggle, and pain. But I tell you this, those are just stories you've accepted. Victory is your natural state, requiring no struggle at all. You see, this victorious attitude completely transforms your relationship with time. When you know you've already won, you stop rushing. You move with the confident pace of someone who knows their triumph is secure. Think about how you breathe when you know you've already won. It's deep, relaxed, confident. This is your natural breath when you're aligned with victory. Adopt this breath now. Let me share with you what happens when this victorious consciousness becomes your default state. Your dreams no longer seem distant or impossible. They become natural expressions of your victorious nature. Most of you sit here tonight wanting to know the exact steps to victory. But I tell you this, there are no steps to what you already are. There's only recognition and expression. Consider this. Every time you doubt yourself, every time you feel uncertain, you're temporarily forgetting your victorious nature. These moments of doubt are simply opportunities to reclaim your true state. Let me reveal to you something profound about acting victorious that most will never grasp. When you embody victory in every moment, you're not just changing your behavior. You're awakening to your true identity. You see, most people treat victory like a distant destination, something to reach after long journeys of effort. But I tell you this, victory is your starting point, not your destination. You begin from victory, not journey toward it. Consider what happens in your mind when you truly grasp this truth. The endless chatter of doubt falls silent. The constant questioning of, am I good enough, disappears. All that remains is the quiet confidence of victory. Let me tell you about the shift that occurs in your physical presence when you maintain this consciousness. Your posture naturally straightens. Your movements become more graceful. Your entire being radiates an unmistakable authority. Most of you have spent years trying to overcome fear, doubt, and insecurity. But I tell you this, you don't overcome these things. You simply outgrow them by maintaining the consciousness of victory. You see, This victorious attitude transforms every interaction in your life. When you know you've already won, conversations change. Meetings change, relationships change. Everything must align with your victorious nature. Think about how you make decisions when you know success is guaranteed. There's no hesitation, no second guessing, no fear of consequences. This is your natural state of being. Let me share with you what happens when you maintain this state consistently. Your entire world begins to mirror your victorious consciousness. Opportunities that once seemed impossible become natural occurrences. Most of you live constantly preparing for future success, future victory, future achievement. But I tell you this, as long as you place victory in the future, that's where it will remain. Consider this, every moment you spend doubting your victory is a moment spent denying your true nature, your victory itself, expressing itself through your unique form. Let me share with you a truth so profound it will transform your entire approach to life. When you act victorious, you're not just putting on a show. You're tuning into the frequency of your natural state. You see, most people spend their lives reacting to circumstances, letting external events determine their inner state. But I tell you this, when you maintain the consciousness of victory, circumstances must conform to your inner state. Consider what happens to your creative abilities when you operate from this victorious consciousness. Ideas flow effortlessly. Solutions appear spontaneously. Innovation becomes your natural expression. Let me tell you about the transformation that occurs in your sleep when you maintain this victorious state. Your rest becomes deeper, more rejuvenating, because you're no longer battling with doubt and uncertainty in your dreams. Most of you are being taught to be realistic about your expectations. But I tell you this, what's realistic to the victorious consciousness far exceeds what's realistic to the consciousness of limitation. You see, this victorious attitude completely revolutionizes how you handle challenges. When you know you've already won, obstacles become opportunities to demonstrate your mastery. Think about how you speak when you know victory is certain. Your words carry authority. Your voice resonates with conviction. Your communication inspires confidence in others. Let me share with you what happens when this victorious consciousness becomes your constant companion. Your very presence becomes a catalyst for positive change in others. Your victory inspires their victory. Most of you sit here tonight thinking about all the reasons why victory might not be possible. But I tell you this, those reasons exist only in a consciousness that has forgotten its true nature. Consider this. Every time you embrace limitation, every time you accept defeat, you're choosing to temporarily forget who you really are. Victory is not something you achieve. It's something you remember. Let me reveal to you something about victory that will forever change how you approach every moment of your life. When you act victorious, you're not pretending. You're acknowledging your innermost truth. You see, most people chase success like hungry wolves chasing prey. But I tell you this, when you embody victory, success chases you. It becomes the natural expression of your being. Consider what happens in your body. When you maintain this victorious consciousness, your immune system strengthens, your energy increases, your entire physical being aligns with this elevated state. Let me tell you about the transformation that occurs in your daily habits when you live from this state. Activities that once felt like obligations become celebrations of your victory. Work becomes play. Challenges become adventures. Most of you have been programmed to believe that confidence must come after achievement. But I tell you this, achievement is merely the outer confirmation of the victory you've already claimed in consciousness. You see, this victorious attitude completely transforms your perception of time. Past failures lose their sting because you realize they were simply stepping stones to your current victory. Think about how you walk when you know you're victorious. Your stride lengthens. Your steps become purposeful. Your entire movement expresses the certainty of success. Let me share with you what happens when this victorious consciousness becomes your moment-to-moment reality. Synchronicities increase. Favorable circumstances multiply. Life itself seems to conspire for your success. Most of you have spent years building defenses against failure. But I tell you this, when you maintain the consciousness of victory, there's nothing to defend against. Victory is your natural state. Consider this. Every anxious thought, every worried moment, every fearful anticipation is simply a temporary forgetting of your victorious nature. Return to victory now. Let me share with you the final and most crucial understanding about victory that will complete your transformation. When you maintain the consciousness of victory, you're not becoming something new. You're returning to your original state. You see, most people spend their lives seeking validation from the outer world. But I tell you this, all validation, all confirmation, all proof of your victory must first be established in consciousness. Consider what happens when you move through your entire day from this victorious state. Meetings become opportunities to express your mastery. Challenges become platforms for demonstrating your power. Every moment becomes a celebration of victory. Let me tell you about the final piece of this transformation. When you truly grasp that you've already won, all struggle ceases, all fighting ends, all resistance dissolves. What remains is pure, effortless expression of victory. From this moment forward, I want you to make this sacred commitment to yourself. Promise that you will never again act from a consciousness of defeat. Promise that you will maintain this victorious attitude regardless of appearances. You see, this is the moment where everything changes. This is where you stop seeking victory and start expressing it. This is where you cease struggling to become victorious and simply be victory itself. Think about tomorrow morning when you wake up. Will you rise as the same person who started listening to this message? Or will you rise as victory itself, ready to express your true nature? Let me share with you this final truth. There is no power that can defeat you except your own acceptance of defeat. When you maintain the consciousness of victory, the entire universe must rearrange itself to match your conviction. This is your moment. This is your victory. This is your true nature expressing itself through you. Rise up now, not as someone seeking victory, but as victory itself. Move forward, not as someone hoping to win, but as someone who has already won. Live not as someone becoming victorious, but as victory personified. For in this recognition lies your freedom. In this understanding lies your power. In this knowing lies everything you have ever desired. Go forth now, with the absolute certainty that victory is not your destination. It is your starting point. It is not your goal. It is your nature. It is not your future. It is your eternal now. Let every breath you take be a breath of victory. Let every step you take be a step of triumph. Let every word you speak be a declaration of success. For you are victory itself, expressing itself through your unique form. You have always been victory. You will always be victory. This is your final understanding. This is your ultimate truth. This is your eternal knowing. You are victory itself. And so it is. Rise now and live from this truth. The world is waiting for your victory to express itself. The end is where we begin, for victory was never something to achieve. It was always something to express. Express it now. Express it always. This is your victory. This is your moment. This is your truth. Now and always. Victory is yours.
My dear friends, imagine with me for a moment. Imagine a world where your words shape your reality, where the blessings speak upon yours manifest in your life with unerring precision. This is not a fantasy, but the very nature of our existence hidden in plain sight, waiting for you to claim it. Tonight we gather to explore a profound truth that has the power to transform your life from the inside out. The topic of our discussion is speak blessings upon yourself, change your life. This is not mere positive thinking or wishful dreaming. No, what I am about to share with you goes far deeper than that. It touches the very core of creation itself. You see, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. This is not just a religious statement, it is a fundamental law of the universe. The power of the word, of speech, of declaration is the power of creation itself. And you, my dear friends, are endowed with this very power. When you speak blessings upon yourself, you are not engaging in empty rhetoric, repetition. You are in fact participating in the divine act of creation. You are shaping your world, molding your reality, and crafting your destiny with every word that proceeds from your mouth. But let us pause for a moment and consider, what kind of words have you been speaking over yourself? Have they been words of blessing or words of curse? Have they been words of abundance or words of lack? Have they been words of health or words of sickness? For make no mistake, whatever you have been declaring over yourself has been shaping your reality, whether you have been being conscious of it or not. The great truth that I want to impress upon you tonight is this: you have the power to change your life. And that power lies in your mouth, in your words, in the blessings you speak upon yourself. This is not a new power that you need to acquire or a skill that you need to learn. It is a power that you already possess, a power that has been with you from the moment of your creation. You are in essence a speaking spirit. Your words are not mere sounds that dissipate into the air. They are living creative forces that go forth from you and begin to arrange the circumstances and events of your life to conform to you have spoken. This is why the wisest of men said, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, I have spoken positive words today, and nothing changed. To this I say persistence is key. The world you see around you now is the result of all the words you have spoken up to this point. It is the accumulation of your habitual thoughts and declarations. To change it requires not just a momentary utterance, but a persistent, consistent declaration of the new reality you wish to experience. Remember, the outside world is a reflection of your inner world. What you see in your circumstances is nothing more than the outpicturing of your own mental conversations. If you want to change what you see on the outside, you must first change what you're saying on the inside. This brings us to a crucial point. The blessings you speak upon yourself must be spoken with feeling, with conviction, with convictions that they are already true. It's not enough to merely repeat positive affirmations like a parrot. You must feel the reality of what you're saying. You must live from the end, experiencing in your imagination the joy, the satisfaction, the fulfillment of already being, doing, or having what you desire. Let me give you an example. Suppose you desire financial abundance. It's not enough to say, I am wealthy while feeling poor and lacking. Instead, you must capture the feeling of wealth. How would you feel if you were truly wealthy? What would your mental conversations be like? How would you carry yourself? What decisions would you make? Speak your blessings from this state of consciousness. You might declare, I am so grateful for the abundance that flows into my life effortlessly. I am a channel of infinite supply, blessing others as I am blessed. Speak these words not as something you hope will become true in the future, but as something that is already true now. For in the realm of spirit, in the dimension of invasionation, it is already done. Your job is simply to align your conscious mind with this spiritual reality. This, my friends, is the art of speaking blessings upon yourself. It is not just about the words you say, but about the consciousness from which you say them. It is about aligning your entire being, your thoughts, your feelings, your expectations with the blessings you desire to manifest in your life. Now, some of you might be wondering, but what about negative circumstances in my life? How can I speak blessings when things seem to be going wrong? This is a crucial question, and I'm glad you asked it. The answer lies in understanding the true nature of reality. You see, the circumstances you perceive as negative are not the truth of your being. They are merely shadows, temporary appearances that have no substance in themselves. They persist only because you give them life through your attention and your habitual thoughts and words. When you face what appears to be a negative circumstance, that is precisely the moment when you must speak blessings with even greater conviction. For it is in these moments that your word, aligned with your imagination and feeling, has the power to completely transform your reality. Let's say you're facing a health challenge. Instead of fixating on the symptoms and speaking words of illness, you would declare with absolute conviction, I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Speak these words not as a future possibility, but as a present reality. Feel the wellness coursing through your body. See yourself engaged in activities that only a healthy person could do. Live from this state in your imagination and watch as your outer world begins to conform to this inner reality. This is not denial through its circumstances. It is the recognition of a higher truth. The truth that you are a spiritual being made in the image and likeness of God. And that perfect health is your natural state. By speaking blessings of health upon yourself, you are linked with this truth and allowing it to manifest in your physical experience. The same principle applies to every area of your life, relationships, career, personal growth, and more. Whatever the current appearance may be, you have the power to speak a new reality into existence. But remember, your words must be matched by your feeling and your imagination. Imagine with me for a moment. Think of something you deeply desire in your life. Now, instead of longing for it as something in the future, begin to speak of it as if it's already yours. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the fulfillment of already possessing it. Let this feeling permeate your entire being. Now speak words of blessing over this desire. Declare it as a present fact. Feel the truth of your words resonating in every cell of your body. This, my dear friends, is how you speak blessings upon yourself that have the power to change your life. But let me caution you, this is not about manipulating external circumstances or controlling others. The blessings you speak are about aligning yourself with the highest good, with the divine plan for your life. They are about recognizing and claiming the abundance, the joy, the love that is already yours by divine right. As you embark on this journey of speaking blessings upon yourself, you may encounter resistance. Old habits of negative self-talk may try to reassert themselves. Doubts may creep in. This is natural. Remember, you are reprogramming your subconscious mind, overwriting years of unconditioning. Be patient with yourself, but also be persistent. When you catch yourself speaking words that do not align with the blessings you desire, do not judge or condemn yourself. Simply pause, take a deep breath, and consciously choose to speak words of blessing instead. Over time, this will become your habit, your new default mode of being. Now let's delve deeper into the mechanics of how speaking blessings upon yourself actually changes your life. It all begins in your imagination. Your imagination is not some frivolous mental faculty for daydreaming. It is the very workshop wherein you forge the calculate of your life experiences. When you speak blessings upon yourself, you are essentially giving directions to your imagination. You are providing it with the raw material from which to construct your new reality. Your words, infused with feeling and conviction, create images in your mind. These images, when persisted in, become the blueprints for your future experiences. Consider for a moment everything in your world, everything man-made that you can see around you, began as an image in someone's mind. The chair you're sitting on, the building you're in, the clothes you're wearing, all of these were once just ideas, images in someone's imagination. Through persistent focus and aligned action, these mental images became physical realities. The same process is at work in your life. The words of blessing you speak create images of the life you desire. As you persist in these images, feeling their reality, your subconscious mind begins to accept them as fact. And here's the magic. Your subconscious mind, being connected to the infinite intelligence of the universe, begins to rearrange the circumstances of your life to match these inner images. This is why it's crucial to be mindful of the words you speak to yourself and about yourself. Every word is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. What kind of harvest do you want to reap in your life? Plant seeds of blessing, of abundance, of love, of success, and that is what will grow in the garden of your life. Let me share with you a powerful practice to amplify the effect of the blessings you speak upon yourself. Before you go to sleep each night, take a few moments to enter a state of relaxation. As you lie in your bed comfortable and at ease, begin to speak words of blessing over your life. But don't just speak them mechanically. Feel them. Experience them as reality. Say to yourself, I am blessed beyond measure. Every day, in every way, my life is getting better and better. I am surrounded by love, abundance, and joy. Success flows to me effortlessly. I am in perfect health, filled with vibrant energy. I am fulfilling my divine purpose, blessing others as I am richly blessed. Speak these words or words like them that resonate with your heart's desires, feeling their truth, seeing in your mind's eye the evidence of these blessings in your life. Then drift off to sleep in this consciousness of blessing. As you sleep, your subconscious mind will work the night to align your outer world with these inner declarations. Remember, the state of consciousness from which you fall asleep is especially powerful in shaping your experiences. It's as if you're placing an order with the universe just before you drift off. Make it a nightly practice to fall asleep while speaking and feeling blessings upon yourself. And watch how your life begins to transform. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, what if I don't believe these blessings are possible for me? What if I have evidence to the contrary in my life? This is a common concern, and I want to address it head on. Your current beliefs about what's possible for you are simply that, beliefs. They are not facts, no matter how much evidence you think you have to support them. Your beliefs are stories you've accepted about yourself and your life, often unconsciously. The beautiful truth is that you have the power to change these stories, to rewrite the script of your life. When you begin to speak blessings upon yourself that seem at odds with your current reality, you may feel resistance. Your logical mind might argue, presenting all the reasons why these blessings can be true for you. This is the moment when faith becomes crucial. Faith in this context is not blind belief. It is the evidence of things not seen. It is the ability to see and feel the reality of blessings before they manifest in the physical world. This kind of faith is a spiritual sense, just as real and reliable as your physical senses. As you speak blessings upon yourself, cultivate this faith. See the unseen, feel the unfelt. Live from the end, experiencing in your imagination the fulfillment of your blessings. This is not denial of current circumstances. It is the recognition of higher reality, a spiritual reality that is more true and more powerful than any temporary physical condition. Let me give you a practical example of how this works. Suppose you're in a job that you find unfulfilling, and you desire a career that aligns better with your passion and purpose. Instead of complaining about your job or speaking words of frustration, you would begin to speak blessings over your career. You might say, I am so grateful for my fulfilling career. I am using my unique gifts and talents to make a positive difference in the world. I am abundantly compensated for work that I love. Every day I wake up excited to contribute my best to the world. As you speak these words, see yourself in this ideal career. Feel the satisfaction of doing work you love. Experience the joy of making a difference. Feel the abundance that comes from being richly compensated for your contributions. Live in this state in your imagination. Speak these blessings consistently. And watch as opportunities begin to unfold in your life to make this vision a reality. This principle applies to every area of your life, health, relationships, finances, personal growth, and more. Whatever you desire to experience, begin to speak it into existence now. Bless yourself with words of love, success, abundance, and fulfillment. Speak as if these blessings are already your reality, for in the realm of spirit they truly are. Now I want to address another crucial aspect of speaking blessings upon yourself: consistency. The power of your words to change your life is cumulative. It's not about making grand declarations once in a while. It's about consistently aligning your speech with the life you desire to create. Think of it this way: your habitual thoughts and words are like the rudder of a ship. They determine the direction of your life. A small adjustment, consistently maintained, can lead to a completely different destination over time. In the same way, consistently speaking blessings upon yourself, even in small ways throughout your day, can lead to profound changes in your life experience. Make it a practice to infuse your daily self-talk with blessings. When you look in the mirror in the morning, instead of criticizing your appearance, speak words of blessing over your body. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. My body is the perfect expression of divine health and beauty. As you drive to work or go about your daily tasks, instead of worrying about the future, declare, my future is bright. I am divinely guided and protected. Every experience is working together for my highest good. These may seem like small things, but remember, it's the small, consistent actions that lead to big changes over time. Your words are shaping your reality in every moment. By consciously choosing to speak blessings, you are consistently steering your life towards your desired experiences. Now let's talk about the role of gratitude in speaking blessings upon yourself. Gratitude is a powerful force that amplifies the effect of your words. When you speak blessings from a place of gratitude, you align yourself with the abundance of the universe. Instead of saying, I want to be wealthy, say, I'm so grateful for the abundance that flows into my life. Instead of saying, I hope to find love, say, I am thankful for the deep, fulfilling love that I experience in my relationships. You see the difference? The first statements come from a place of lack, while the second come from a place of abundance and gratitude. When you align your words of blessing with genuine gratitude, you create a powerful magnetic force that attracts more blessings into your life. It's as if you're sending a signal to the universe saying, I am grateful for these blessings, and I'm ready to receive more. This attitude of gratitude also helps to dissolve any resistance you might have to receiving your blessing. Often we unconsciously block our good because we don't feel worthy or we're afraid of change. Gratitude opens your heart and your hands to receive all the good that the universe is constantly trying to give you. So as you speak blessings upon yourself, do so heart with a certitude. Thank the universe in advance for the manifestation of your words. Feel the joy and appreciation of already having received your blessings. This combination of blessed words and heartfelt gratitude is truly transformative. Now I want to address a question that often arises when we discuss the power of speaking blessings. What about other people? Can I speak blessings for them too? The answer is a resounding yes, but with an important caveat. You see, you cannot override another person's free will. You cannot force changes in another person's life through your words. However, you can bless them, holding in your imagination the highest good for them. In fact, blessing others is a powerful way to amplify the blessings in your own life. When you bless others, you are essentially recognizing the divine in them. You are seeing past their circumstances or behavior, their true, perfect spiritual nature. This not only benefits them, but also expands your own consciousness of blessing. For example, if you have a challenging relationship with someone, instead of speaking words of frustration or anger about them, you could say, I bless person's name with love, peace, and joy. I see them as the perfect expression of divine love that they truly are. As you speak these words, feel the reality of them. See this person in your imagination as whole, happy, and fulfilled. This practice does two things. First, it shifts your own perception and feelings about the person, which can lead to positive changes in your interactions with them. Second, it creates a blessing consciousness in you that attracts more blessings into your own life. Remember, what you give out, you receive back multiplied. As you speak blessings upon others, you are simultaneously speaking blessings upon yourself. You are affirming a universe of love, abundance, and positive possibilities, and aligning yourself with that reality. This brings us to another important point. The power of your words extends beyond just yourself and others. Your words have the power to bless your environment, your circumstances, even seemingly inanimate objects. Consider your home, your workplace, your belongings. Instead of complaining about what's wrong with them, speak blessings over them. Thank your home for providing you with shelter and comfort. Bless your workplace as a site of opportunity and growth. Express gratitude for your car that reliably takes you where you need to go. You might say, I bless this home with love, peace, and harmony. Every room is filled with positive energy and joy. Or bless my workplace with success and creativity and fulfilling relationships. Abundance flows freely here. As you speak these blessings, feel the truth. See your environment transformed by your words. This practice of blessing everything in your life creates a field of positive energy around you. It raises your vibration and assures you to the frequency of blessing. As a result, you begin to attract more positive experiences, people, and circumstances into your life. Now let's address a common challenge that many face when they begin to practice speaking blessings. dealing with setbacks and disappointments. There will be times when, despite your best efforts to speak blessings, things don't seem to go your way. How do you handle these moments without losing faith in the power of your words? First, understand that setbacks are not failures. They are opportunities for growth, realignment, and even greater blessings. When you encounter setback, instead of speaking words of defeat or discouragement, speak words of wisdom and victory over the situation. You might say this challenge is an opportunity for me to grow stronger and wiser. I am learning valuable lessons that are preparing me for even greater blessings. I trust in the perfect unfolding of my good. Speak these words with conviction, feeling the truth of them in your heart. Remember, the words you speak in times of challenge are especially powerful. They determine whether you will be a victim of circumstances or a victor over them. Choose to speak words that empower you, that reaffirm your trust in the benevolence in the universe and your own innate ability to overcome. Moreover, use these moments as opportunities to deepen your practice of speaking blessings. Often, it's in our darkest moments that our words of light have the most transformative power. When you can speak blessings in the face of apparent defeat, you demonstrate a faith that moves mountains. This brings us to an important principle. Your words of blessing are not dependent on external circumstances. They are a declaration of truth that transcends current appearances. Just as the sun is always shining above the clouds, the reality of your blessings exists beyond temporary setbacks or challenges. In fact, consistently speaking blessings, especially when circumstances seem to contradict them, is what allows you to break through limitations and manifest profound changes in your life. It's easy to speak positively when everything is going well. The real test and the real power comes in maintaining your blessed speech even when faced with opposition. Now, as we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to impress upon you the ongoing nature of this practice. Speaking blessings upon yourself is not a one-time event or a temporary fix. It is a way of life, a continuous process aligning your speech with the highest truth of who you are and what you desire to experience. Make it your daily practice to begin and end your day with words of blessing. Throughout your day, be mindful of your speech. Are you speaking words that bless or words that curse? Are you affirming your word or magnifying your challenges? Remember, every word you speak is a seed planted in the garden of your life. Choose your words wisely and lovingly. As you consistently speak blessings upon yourself, you will begin to notice changes. Perhaps at first they will be subtle, a shift in your mood, a new perspective on an old problem. But as you persist, you'll see more tangible changes manifesting in your external world. Opportunities will appear, relationships will improve, your health will flourish, abundance will flow. But beyond these external changes, you'll notice a profound internal transformation. You'll develop a deep sense of peace and trust in the benevolence of the universe. You'll cultivate an unshakable faith in your own divine nature and your ability to create the life you desire. You'll experience a joy and fulfillment that comes from living in alignment with your highest self. Remember, my dear friends, you are not separate from the creative power of the universe. You are one with it. Your words, spoken with feeling and conviction, are the very power of creation itself. As you speak blessings upon yourself, you are participating in the divine act of creation, shaping your world in accordance with your highest aspirations. So speak your blessings boldly. Declare your good with unwavering faith. Let your words paint a picture of the life you desire to live. For as you speak, so shall it be. Your words have the power to change your life, to transform your world, to create miracles. In closing, I invite you to take a moment right now. Close your eyes if you wish, if you at least take a breath, and speak a blessing upon yourself. Feel the truth of your word resonating in every cell of your body. Know that as you speak, the entire universe conspires to make your words reality. You are blessed abundantly and unconditionally. You are worthy of all good things. You are a living, breathing miracle, capable of creating miracles in your life. Speak this truth. Live this truth. Be this truth. And so, my dear friends, go forth and speak blessings upon yourself. Change your life with the power of your words. For you are the author of your life story, and with every word you speak, you write a new, more beautiful chapter. Remember, the power is within you. The time is now. Speak your blessings, change your life, and watch as the world transforms before your very eyes. For as you bless yourself, you bless the world, and in blessing the world, well, you fulfill your divine purpose. Thank you for your attention and your presence. May your words always be filled with blessings, and may your life be a testament to the transformative power of speaking good upon yourself. Go in peace, go in love, in the certainty that as you speak, so it is speak.